Good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Greenwood County Democratic Party November breakfast meeting. Thank you for coming on out. I don't know about you, but it is beautifully warm outside. I woke up this morning and the heat was out in my house. So I just left a note from my wife and left, made it her problem, and hopefully she'll have the heat fixed by the time I get back. Could I have everybody please rise? And we'll start our proceedings with the Pledge of Allegiance. For those of you who are new to our breakfast meeting, we have a tradition where we place a special emphasis on the final two words. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. If we could also take a few seconds and have a moment of silence to remember those from our party who have passed, and I wish to announce that one of our former members, Sandra McCormack, she since had changed her name to Sandra Russ. She was a regular attendee and had gone to many events with us, and then she had some health problems, and sadly she passed away last month. So please keep her in your thoughts and prayers, and then also please keep in your mind the absolute devastation that's happening in the Middle East and all the innocents that are suffering as we speak today. So let's pause and have a moment of silence for them. All right, thank you. Let me formally welcome everybody to our November breakfast meeting. It's been a while since we've had a breakfast meeting. It's been 2 months, as a matter of fact, because we had a big event somewhere in the middle that I'll talk about. But for 2 months, boy, a lot certainly seemed to happen during these 2 months. It felt like 2 years worth of politics have happened. Between what is happening in Israel and Gaza and what happened with the Republican congressional shutdown when they couldn't find somebody they liked to lead them for over 3 weeks, it's just been a crazy short period of time. A couple of quick announcements. If you have not signed in up front, please visit John Blocker at the table and check in. We want to make sure we've recorded your attendance. Those who have perfect attendance get an award at the end of the year. No, just kidding. But we would like to know just so we can reach out to you. We also have a merchandise table at the back, so we are still selling various styles of shirts with the sizes we have left. The supply is starting to dwindle, but before we put in a new order, we'd like to see some more sales. Just throw the money in the donation box up at the check-in table. It'll be on the honor system. We trust you. I want to thank the breakfast crew. I want to thank those that showed up early and brought the food and helped set up the tables and helped set up the coffee. All good people, all. I mean, this is the only reason why I know you're here. If we take away the donuts and the sandwiches and coffee, I'd just be talking to Lane. I am not under any delusion. So we thank them for coming up and waking up early on a Saturday morning to do this. I also want to wish and extend a happy Veterans Day to the veterans in our group. Raise your hand if you are a veteran. Thank you so much for your service. I hope you're allowed to sleep in next Saturday and that breakfast is made for you and delivered to your bed. That's how it ought to be. Jill, you're offering to do that for all the veterans? You have to think about that? Okay. So thank you for that. And then before I get to my next slide, I want to announce that we've lost 2 items. And I don't know if you're going to be able to help much, but between the Carnell Drummond Mays Banquet and today, we lost our banner that usually goes at the front check-in table. The one that says Greenwood County Democratic Party is in a white tube. I thought we brought it with us to the Carnell Drummond Mays Banquet, but it wasn't in our storage unit. So it was at the banquet, it just hasn't seemed to find its way back. So Lane thinks she stole it, so she's going to find out. So keep an eye out for that. And then we also lost a little electronic device that plugs into the back of our speaker. It's a Bluetooth device that allows the wireless microphones to work. That's why we don't have wireless mics today, because that little Bluetooth piece, which I know was at the Carnell Drummond Mays Banquet, didn't make it into the bag. Check your pockets, check under the seats of your car, I don't know. I just throw it up as a hope and a prayer. If somebody happens to see it in the bag, let me know. It's a little black dongle looking thing. So it has a plug at the end that slides into like a headphone jack, but the quarter inch, the thicker version, not the skinny one, but a thicker plug in, and then the rest of it's just a black rectangle. And that's really all it is, and it allows us to plug our wireless mic. So I'm hoping that'll turn up between now and our next breakfast meeting. All right, so our agenda got a little jumbled today. I'm going to go into some opening remarks and updates, and we are awaiting our next speaker. Shantae Morton spoke to us from Carolina Health Centers. Very good session. And again, all the notes that she presented on the screen will be available on our website, and the link sent out in an email if you are subscribed to our email newsletter. If not, please do subscribe, and you'll get all of that information and share it along. Shantae, that's her job, and she does it very well. We are also going to hear from a lawyer from Greenville named Stephen Edward Buckingham, who has a very unusual connection to Greenwood that I can't wait to hear from him about, so we'll go into more detail. But to give you a taste, he sued the state of South Carolina last year because of something that happened originating from Greenwood. So to hear more, stay tuned. He is on his way, and then there will be some closing remarks. I want to update you about the handouts. We try to bring something new every month. The new item that we have this month is a reprint of an article from the Index Journal that was published the day after our Carnell Drummond Mays Banquet. So the entire article has been published. Feel free to take a copy with you and read it if you don't already get the paper. And guess who was on the front page of the newspaper that day? Not me. My mug didn't make it. But Dr. Brooks did. Wave your hand, Dr. Brooks. As she said in our podcast, she and I did a thing. We announced that we were both running for office. Jamil for District 12, myself for District 13 again. And so we have two fighters for you, and that was done at the banquet. Read that article. It was a lot of fun. We've also updated two of our issue sheets because of some recent developments. One is on LGBTQ plus rights, where we wrote a little bit about the Save Women's Sports Act, which is the dumbest name I've ever heard for an act, because nothing needed saving. And then on the education front, since it was last printed, the educational savings accounts law went into effect. And it is a very important topic. And in fact, I'm going to plug, again, our podcast, Black, White, Blue in the South. Jamil and I host it every week. And in fact, last episode, we went at length about these educational savings accounts and why they're so bad and why they failed in every state in which they've been implemented and why they still continue to try to push it. It's ludicrous. So we've updated our sheet on that. Hey, just a show of hands. How many here have heard one of our episodes before? All right. We need to double that number. All right. So Black, White, Blue in the South. And you can pick up our business cards there with a little QR code that'll take you to our podcast. Another handout that's new is the voter registration form. And I say it's new because it actually is a new form this year. So I've printed out copies from scvotes.gov. You can take some and fill it out yourself if you need to register. If you've newly moved into town and you haven't updated your address yet, use that to update your voter registration. You have to update it if you've moved. Your driver's license change doesn't do it for you automatically. You need to do your voter registration separately, or take it to somebody who just aged in, who maybe wasn't old enough to vote last time but is now. If you have any voter registration forms that you happen to have stored for yourself, dispose of them. They want us to use the new forms going forward. So I can print up some for you if you want to have a batch at handy, or we can get some from the voter registration office, okay? Any questions on that? Awesome. All right, so what's been happening in our party? First, I want to issue a big thank you to Robert Headley Downs over here. As you can see in this picture below, we had an eagle with a broken wing. I don't know if you noticed it, but on our flag here, which again also the flags were donated by the Headley Downses, thank you so much for that, but during transport, the wing of our eagle snapped off. And we've been a one-winged bird for quite a few months. Robert saw that. He did a repair. He repaired the broken wings, and that eagle learned to fly again, learned to live so free. Wrong eagle, but okay, that's good. So thank you for that. It's beautiful, and we will be taking extra care of it going forward. So let's talk about the Carnell Drummond Mays Banquet. How many of you here were in attendance that night? Oh, that was more than half. I hope you had a good time. Yeah, we heard there might have been a little snafu with the serving of the meals. Some tables got their meals very late. But it was their first event, so keep that in mind. That was the first time they've hosted anybody. Since then, they've booked 10 other events using that venue, thanks to word of mouth. But it was a wonderful night. All the feedback I got was that the story that was told at the banquet, from beginning to end, it wasn't just a bunch of random speakers. It all built up. You know, the previous video or the previous award or the previous speaker helped the next one until we had a grand finale at the end in which 2 candidates announced that they were going to run. Earliest that has ever been announced, by the way, so that gives us a lot of time to get our act together. So it was very, very exciting. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and show an 8-minute video showing the highlights of the Carnell Drummond Mays Banquet. I want to thank Mr. Rock Wise over there. Give it up to Rock. Rock donated 4 VIP tickets for college students.
All right.
The most common thing I hear from you is, we need more young people. Where are the young people at? Well, Rock doesn't just ask it, he does something about it. So he kicked in and said, find me 4 students. Yes. So anyhow, Rock goes beyond just saying it. He put his money where his mouth is. Hey, college students, raise your hands. You're the bells of the bell tonight. Yes, you are.
It was at Morehouse that Dr. Mays mentored many young African-American students, the most famous being Martin Luther King Jr. Having been unable to have children of their own, Dr. Mays and his wife Sadie adopted King as their spiritual son, a fact that made his famous eulogy of Dr. King in 1968 so moving and painful.
Ms. Tawanda is a perfect successor to the woman who started this program, Ms. Wanda Moore. So in her passing last summer, we introduced a new award that we give out to somebody who has those same attributes. Somebody who just doesn't look for recognition, doesn't get the recognition, doesn't want the recognition, just does. And the community is better for that person.
They do. Tina Lee King, come get this award, girl.
Yeah.
Thank y'all. I really appreciate it. And Mr. Floyd, I'm not gonna call you in the morning to help me. Okay.
at a legislative banquet when I met Representative Parks. I was sitting next to her and I said, "Ann, I need your endorsement." And she looked at me and she said, "Obama, I will give you my endorsement if you come to my hometown of Greenwood, South Carolina." Ann didn't tell me how far away it was, that you couldn't fly in there. So I said, "Okay." She tricked me.
Fired up, ready to go. I'm Edith S. Childs from Greenwood, South Carolina, and I'm the one that got Barack Obama fired up.
Fired up, ready to go. Fired up, ready to go. Fired up, ready to go. Fired up.
Let's have a drum roll, folks. Come on. It is my absolute honor and privilege to announce the 2023 True Blue Democrat Award to two people. Kathy Swindell, George.
I know most everybody in this room.
Love you, Kathy.
We love you. And the thing of it is,
so it gives me great pleasure and honor to introduce our guest speaker, Miss Heather Bauer. And I'm related to Andre Bauer.
I'm going to talk about how I won, how we accomplished what we did in flipping a 10-year Republican incumbent who was born a millionaire. We literally beat the patriarchy in that race. We can do it here too.
I think I'm supposed to introduce our person who is going to run for District 12. Come on up here, Donna.
All right, yeah.
they lit a fire in me that will never go out. It is a fire that whether I have a microphone in front of a group, or whether I am standing in my bathroom, or whether I am walking down the street, I am still going to be an advocate and a voice for the people who feel unserved, underserved, and some of those who just feel like they don't even deserve. I'm going to speak for those individuals. And it's
And I say all that to say this. Anyone feeling what I'm about to say?
so I don't know.
Anyone sensing a theme here tonight?
Yeah.
Are we fired up? Are we ready to go?
I am.
Ladies and gentlemen, I stand here in front of my Democratic family and friends to say that once again I am seeking your support to be the Democratic nominee for State House in District 13. Thank you all. What'd you think? Don't you wish you were there? Speaking of the candidacies, Jamil and I did decide and announce that we are going to run, and she is just all smiles. She can't even believe it herself that she did this. She wakes up in the morning going, what did I do? I know that feeling very well. But we need help, so this is a great time to get in on the ground floor. All right, we are just starting our campaigns, but one of the biggest mistakes that I did upon reflection of my campaign last year is that I really tried to do too much myself. And really the mentality I had was, I didn't want to bother anybody. I didn't want to bug you or be an inconvenience. You know what? That's going out the window now. All right, I need you to be bothered. We are campaigning coordinated. So the reason being is that it's really not enough work for just one individual to do for just me, right? But there's enough work for Jamil and I together to fill up somebody's, and we're not even talking full-time job, by the way, not even close, a couple of hours a week. But because our districts overlap so much, the way that these districts have been gerrymandered, I mean, there's this little finger that comes out of McCormick into Greenwood, takes up a good percentage of the city of Greenwood, then the rest of it is me. People don't even know what district they're in. So it's best if we approach Greenwood together. And in fact, if you look at our business cards over on the table, there's a front and there's a back. I'm on one side, Jamil's on the other. And we're just going to give out that card and let the chips fall where they may. They see one of our names on the ballot, vote for us. All right, that's how we're going to go at this. We're not going to be too picky. So yes, a campaign manager for both of us, a scheduling person for both of us, a media person for both of us. Probably somebody we could use right now is a treasurer. Jamil's already raised over $100,000. No, I'm kidding. That's her goal. Maybe I rounded up a little bit. But she'll take it. But we need a treasurer to help record it, make sure we file every quarter. We'll train you up. This is not something that you had to have any experience on any of these fronts. I was brand new, had to train myself. Jamil is brand new. She's learning as she goes. I'd like to learn together and spread out the work. So, if you feel like you might be interested in working with two very good-looking, dynamic individuals, there is a volunteer form over on the table. You'll see our picture for our podcast, a little volunteer form. Put your name down, please, and join the team and help grow this campaign and bring us to victory next year. And Jamil and I talk every day. We're already meeting together weekly to coordinate and strategize, and we want you to be part of that organization. Our issues and our positions are identical. You know, we've been talking for months. We've been podcasting for months, and it hasn't been an issue yet that we've disagreed upon. I asked that question of her. I go, what did we disagree on? And we just stared at each other, blinking. So you know that if you're supporting one, you're supporting all with a common message and a common goal that we want to take to the State House. But it doesn't end with the two of us. There are so many other positions that are up for election next year. If you have your agenda and you turn to the center of it, you'll see that we've included a candidate, we want a choice scorecard. All right, we want a choice. So how many choices are you going to see on the ballot in 2024? Well, so far you're going to see two Democratic names. Now, the president, we can't do nothing about that. But everything South Carolina related, from U.S. Congress all the way down to coroner and school board, we can help with. We would love to see your name, and if not you, somebody you recommend. This does not take any incredible talent or highly specialized skill sets or even education to perform. These are citizens stepping up saying, I think I can help run things. Ordinary citizens. There is nobody more ordinary than me, nobody less extraordinary than Jamil. Normal people just rising up saying, we want to give this a shot, and all the training and the support is provided. So, please take a look at these. And if you're not sure you're in a district for school board, but you want to run for school board, talk to us. We'll find out for you and see if you would be eligible this time around. Can you help us out? Can you? Spread the word. If not you, then somebody you know. Have a conversation with at least 3 or 4 people, please, during the next month and say, hey, I see Greenwood District 7. You got a kid in Greenwood High School, don't you? Would you be interested in running for school board? You know, we need to make sure that we fill these seats. Otherwise, we turn into good areas like Charleston, whose school board has completely been corrupted by Moms for Liberty, to the point where they're not even functioning anymore. These people can get elected, but they can't govern. They can't govern. So we need good people that we can support, that we have that choice on the ballot. You put the choice on the ballot, you get the voters out. You get the people who don't normally come out to vote, they come out to vote because there's names that they recognize. All right, I'll pause. Any questions on this or ideas or comments before I move to the next topic? All righty. I hope to see some more green check boxes by this time next month, okay? Otherwise, Frank's in for a surprise when I put a check box next to his name for congressman. We will be doing that candidate recruitment video. I made a mistake. 2 months ago at our last breakfast meeting, I asked you to fill out a little piece of paper, put your name on the back of a questionnaire, or indicate on the back of a questionnaire if you were interested in being in a very short candidate recruitment video. And I got a number of people who wrote interested in video, but nobody put their name down. So I have no idea who was interested in the campaign video. So I'm going to ask, before you leave, if you would fill out or leave a piece of paper or something with your name. We've got your contact info. Just say, Jim Ellis, campaign video, and drop it in the little donation box or something of the sort, and then we'll give you a call back. But I want to have that video done and ready by the end of this year, okay? And really, we're just looking for a sound bite. All you have to do is, a video at a park, and we'll film you saying, I want a choice. That's really all that it is, all right? Nothing fancier than that. If you want to give a Meryl Streep type of performance, okay, but we're not really even asking for that. We just want some real faces, real voices, indicating they want choices. Ooh, did you write that down? Yeah, thank you. We do have an election next week. Anybody here from 96? Raise your hand. We got one 96er. One. All right. One vote can turn the election, maybe. 96 has an election for mayor and town council. A couple of seats are open. If you are in 96 or know somebody in 96, please encourage them to get out and vote. These elections hinge on such a small percentage of people. I mean, we're talking just a couple 100 people show up to vote. So everyone does count. In today's paper, there's a list of the mayors and the town council candidates and a little bit about each. They're nonpartisan positions, but if you're in the town, I think you know that there are some good choices and there are some bad choices. The current mayor of 96, his name may be on the ballot, but he withdrew a month ago. So he's asking people not to vote for him. So Mike Rowe, the current mayor, is not entertaining running again. So there are three names on the ballot that you can choose from, and we want to choose wisely. So Tuesday, 7 to 7, 96, cast your vote. I want to thank the road cleanup crew. Who was out there in the cleanup crew? We've got George, Lane, we've got Jill, thank you. We've got John was out there. We had one more. Oh, myself. All right, a crew of 5. Showed up last Saturday morning, Cokesbury Street, and boy, was it a mess. We collected 14 full bags of trash, and we put them under the Keep Greenwood Beautiful sign, sponsored by Greenwood County Democrats. So thank you for showing that Democrats care. We do this twice a year. So in the spring, we'll have another cleanup activity. The more people we have, the quicker it goes. 5 of us, it took us about, I would say, an hour and a half, hour 45, and we were pretty much done. If we could have had 10, we would have been done within an hour, easily. So more bodies next time, please, and it's a great way to keep our community looking good. There is another event happening at the main event, by the way. So if you are into history, specifically African American history in South Carolina, this group called We Goja, and I don't know what it stands for, but I do know one of the members, a friend of mine who's the chair of the Democratic Party in Union County, as a matter of fact. She and this group have been going around the state holding listening and information sessions about preserving South Carolina African American history. They're holding a free lunch and information event on Wednesday, November 15th, again at the main event, same place we held our banquet, 10 to 1 p.m. That information is available here. It's been sent out in an email newsletter. You can also look for it on our website, or just type in WEGOJA, WeGoja, on the internet, and you can find that information. All right, there is another event happening right up the road in Spartanburg. This is the Spratt Issues Conference, something the South Carolina Democratic Party has sponsored every year before COVID. Once COVID hit, they shut this down, and they're now just firing it back up. They're holding 3 of these events in different places in the state. They held one in Columbia about a month ago. They're going to hold another one in Charleston. But in November, they've got one scheduled in Spartanburg. So it's about a half-day event. The admission price of $40 includes lunch, and you get to hear speakers and go to various sessions on different topics. The keynote speaker is Senator Cory Booker. Who knows Senator Cory Booker? Former presidential candidate, Senator Cory Booker. He's a good guy. He's the senator from New Jersey, and to hear him speak, I heard him when he was running for president, and he was touring South Carolina, seeking votes for the primary here. Very dynamic speaker, very intelligent, very compassionate. I think that's the word that describes him the best. He is the most compassionate politician you will ever meet. So come on out with us. There will be a group of us going up. You register online. And again, you can see the QR code in your agenda. On the inside of your agenda, there's a barcode right next to this picture. You scan that, that'll take you to the online form to sign up, and then we head on up to Spartanburg and enjoy a very informative day. All right, and then there is another event happening in November. This is part of our community care movement, the Thanksgiving dinner serving at the Hut. So there are 2 individuals, Mirandy Woolridge and Avery Roman, and the 2 of them for over a decade now, just got together, got some volunteers, got some donors, cook up hundreds of plates of a Thanksgiving meal, turkey, ham, rice, stuffing, potatoes, everything, dessert, drinks, package it all up, and then people just drive through, pick up however many plates they want. There's no sign up, there's no tickets, there's no payment, just a line of cars, and we just serve free Thanksgiving meals. The Greenwood County Democratic Party has been helping out for about 4 years now. This will be our 5th year, and we want to encourage donations. We want to encourage people to volunteer. So we'll be putting out the call here in a week or so for volunteers to show up that day to help prep the food, help serve the food. Beforehand, we need people to help donate the food, whether it's a cash donation or actual food products. And again, all the details are in the email newsletter that went out last week. So look for that. Look for it also on our website. Get those details and show that Democrats care in the Thanksgiving time frame. Any questions on this event? Okay.